Good afternoon, teacher. Today I'm going to present you my exam for your subject. To start, I'm going to present my lesson. First, I'm going to present my heading. For example, the teacher's name. My name is Derwin Minor Cifuentes. The subject I will teach in this lesson is English. The level of the student is a A2, beginners high school. The students are 15 or 16 years old. The topic is the simple past, a continuous past. The tool is the chatbot, and the skill is writing and reading, specifically grammar. The objective of the this lesson is to activate the prior knowledge about past actions. The purpose of the chatbot um, in this lesson is used in a teaching English to help students practice their language in easy and active way. Um, the students nowadays wants to improve their knowledge by using new tools. For example, the chatbot could be a very good tool for them because they get bored when they use a notebook, a whiteboard from the beginning at the end of their process. So this could be a good a good tool. The type of interaction they will have with chatbot is the student can ask questions, get explanation from the chatbot, and complete simple tasks or games depending of the order uh, we give to the chatbot, and learn in a interactive and more fun way. Why I'm I'm going to use this chatbot. In my case, I use Poi because using Poi to make chatbot easy to use, and you don't need a great knowledge of programming or computing to make a good chatbot. The prompt the this chatbot will use is, for example, I wrote in the description of the chatbot, act as an English teacher to create a short conversation using the simple past and past continuous for students of our beginner of high school students, and use a maximum of 8 lines and very simple vocabulary. If you realize, teacher, I wrote here the four main steps each prompt uh, must have. For example, the role, the task, the context, and the format. So when I wrote this prompt in my chatbot, I did it in a paragraph form. I wrote here periods, and I uh, use colors to in order just for showing you the 4 steps of the prompt. Okay, how chatbot encourage students? The chatbot encourage students by creating a fun and interactive space to practice English without fear of making mistakes. As I told you before, chatbot could be a very fun and could be a very interesting way to learn because this is a very new tool for students. So they can find it very, very interesting. Some ethical uh, advices I use, for example, with my student is the student privacy. Uh, in my case, I had to make sure the student's personal information was protected and not shared with another's persons or without permissions. Uh, One limitation, for example, of using a chatbot is the student can't fully replace real human interaction, because when they interact with a chatbot, they are interacting with a machine. So the interaction with human people is you can replace for any machine. So what is the teacher role? Guide and support students learning. They also ensure the chatbot is used correctly and help students connect what they practice with a real communication. In my case, I had to be very, I had to watch the students, and they used correctly the chatbot. They they are very beginners in this kind of tools, so they can need some helps. Okay, teacher, the lesson activity I going to use, for example, in the chatbot is the following. I going to use 5 minutes warm up, and where I will use some sentences or some question for ask them. For example, what did you do yesterday, or what were you doing at 8 p.m. yesterday? So I am using the grammar we are going to use in the chatbot. Um, some other simple instructions, like for example, past simple is when the finish action, when the action is finished completely, and the past continuous, the action is in progress in some point in the past. uh, the instruction I gave the chatbot was the chatbot had to write a short conversation where where the chatbot had to use this conversation using the simple past and the past continuous. So I copy the conversation from the chatbot, and then the chatbot gave the students some exercises. For example, the chatbot wrote, "Tell me which sentence are in the simple past in which are in the past continuous." If the students have had to interact with the chatbot and write the right answers. Um, then the chatbot give another exercises, like for example, fill in the gaps, and the students have to fill in the gaps, some 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 answers they have. Uh, in the reflection closing, I use or I will use or I used 5 minutes. For example, the teacher asked the students, when do we use the past simple and when we do we use the past continuous? So the student gave me some answers. It was at the very end of the lesson. Okay, teacher, give me a second. I will teach you my chatbot I use with my students. I do it this morning. So let me show you here some interaction my student had with the chatbot. For example, uh, one of my students, she is Berta. She wrote in Spanish. ¿Puedes resolver este ejercicio correctamente, por favor? And the chatbot gave the right answers. And here the chatbot wrote, I watched a movie with my sister. Did you finish your homework? and the chatbot gave her the answers. For example, another student, Isabella Toc, she wrote, ¿puedes resolverme este ejercicio? And the chatbot write the answers, or wrote the answer, I'm sorry. Berta again wrote, can you give me the correct answer for this simple present tense? The chatbot gave some solutions. For example, the chatbot wrote, a good question, but these exercises are not in the simple present. They are about simple past and past continuous. So the question Berta did, or Berta asked, was in the simple present. So the chatbot interact with her and gave the right exercise. For example, another student, let me show you, um, Lilian Herrera, for example, but I think she didn't wrote any, she wrote the numbers of the right sentences. And let me, for example, Lane is the name of my student. She wrote the answers in that forms. For example, the number one is a sentence in the past continuous. For example, the number eight she wrote is a sentence in the past continuous. If the chatbot uh, wrote the following, not quite right. Let's fix it together. And the chatbot gave a feedback because the chatbot wrote the sentence eight is not a past continuous because the word was here is a simple past, no ing verbs. For example, let me show you for example, the sentence number eight is Mia, yesterday was fun. So it isn't a continuous form. It's a simple past. If the chatbot wrote this answer. And so this is the way I use the chatbot, teacher, because I did it in one of my classes. So the students like me are very beginners in the chatbots. So it was a little not difficult, but a little strange using that type of tools. But my students, uh, they said that this is a very interesting way to interact and learn English language. So they were very happy when I share with them this type of new learning tool. So teacher, I hope I met with the expectations, and I hope to see you soon, and thank you very much for your attention. Bye, teacher.